All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I'm in part 2 of a Microsoft series on Entity Framework Database First with ASP.NET MVC. In part 1, we created our database, which I called Rankin, and populated it with, I think we called it RTC, and we created 3 tables: a student table, a course table, and an enrollment table. And then we populated those 3 tables with data, and I used actual Rankin data, so you can see. And it's based on real data. I mean, it's not exactly real data, but you get the idea, I think. So these were all valid. Everything looked cool. Everything went in okay. So in this part, it says we are going to create the web application. Well, I've already created the web application, so some of this will be expedited just because, like I said, because of the fact that I already did go through here and created the application. I didn't call it Contoso site. I called mine MVC Demo2. I made it an MVC project, and the MVC was selected. All right. Now, what they tell you can do here, we can do this. They want to make sure you're using the latest and greatest of the entity framework. So I can come in here, let me close this, let me right mouse click on my package, on my project name, and choose Manage NuGet Packages. We've always gone through and browsed and tried to find things, but I can go into Installed and find what I have in here too. You'll notice I can type in Entity Framework if I want to, but it's already right near the top, or it was anyway. All right, well, that's interesting. Don't know exactly what happened, but we have it right here. It is there. Notice it says uninstall, meaning it's installed already. All right, so we've got 6.1 point something, so that's good. All right, so I've done this. Now let's generate the models. You will now create entity framework models from the database tables. These models are classes that you will work with for the data. Each model will mirror a table. So we want to right mouse click on our models folder. And when we do, we want to choose Add and New Item. I'm going to just follow exactly what they have in the book, in the handout here. Add and New Item. All right, that gets us here. And I want to be very deliberate when we're doing this. We want to select data and then ADO.NET Entity Data Model. So data, ADO.NET Entity Data Model. It says to name the new model file Contoso model. Let's just name ours Rankin model. Right. Click Add. Okay. In what comes up, select EF Designer from Database, which is the default right there. Okay. Now it says click Next, which we did. If you have database connections defined, you may see one in here. And we do. We have the one here, right there, which is good. It's got all of our information in there for us. If we didn't, and if there was nothing here, we could choose New Connection. All right, so we could do that. I'm not going to worry about any of this stuff. We don't have to because ours is filled in already. All right, so we don't have to do any of that stuff. So it says, after we do that, click OK, and the connection properties should now be displayed. All right, so we can just go to next right here. All right, so I'm actually a little ahead. There we go. So it says right here, select the tables to generate models for all 3 tables. Okay, well, if I come through here and I select tables, I like to have everything open to make sure it's all selected. We don't have any views, but if we did, we could check there. We don't have any stored procedures and functions, but if we did, we could check there. We want to include our foreign key columns and worry about pluralizing or singularizing. That's not a big thing one way or the other, to be honest with you, at least in my humble opinion. All right? So, we want to click Finish. And we're told that when we do, we may or may not receive a security message. And it says if you do receive a security warning, select OK. And it's just basically that it's trying to protect you. We should have something when we get up, we come back, that looks very similar to this, if not identical to this. Okay, so let's look. It's still spinning, thinking about what it wants to do here. And there it is. Now, I can move this so it's up closer to the other ones. And again, what you should notice is if I take this, stretch it out, how much this, course ID title, credits, navigation, property, enrollments. All right, enrollment ID, grade, course ID, student ID. This has got the ability to navigate to both tables because it's our lookup table. And student ID, last name, first name, enrollment date, navigation, property, enrollments. All right, so as far as I can tell, this looks identical to what we see right here. And it says the models folder now includes many new files related to the models that were generated from the database. So let's go and take a look at that. First of all, I'm going to close this. Now, it's going to ask me to save because I moved that from down here to over here. So when I close it, it'll say, do you want to save? And I'll just say yes. All right. System is acting very, very slow today. I'm not sure why, but it is. And I'm looking, and other than, this for me is not very much stuff that I've got running, to be honest with you. I can close this, and this, and this. Everything else I need to keep running. Okay. So, the author says if we go into models, what we're going to see now is a bunch of stuff that wasn't in there before. Alright, so let's take a look and see what that's supposed to be. Again, can we do this? Can we take this and make this smaller here, bring it over here, account view models. Alright, they've got this MD EDMX, which I know is in mine, but so it might be in here someplace, but it's there. That was the diagram, EDMX diagram, okay. Alright, TT, CS file, course CS, and enrollment CS, and a student CS. Those are the key things. Are this one, and this one. Alright, so we've got those. Alright. So it says here, the Contoso model context.cs contains a class that derives from the DB context class and provides a property for each model. Okay? That's fine. So in other words, this context file that's in here, wherever it is, I think it's that one. If we bring this up, it's going to basically be linked to this file right here with the diagram that we just saw. But what we care about, is that we have course.cs, enrollment.cs, and student.cs. Those are in our models folder. So again, in our models folder, we've got course.cs, and it's written a bunch of code for us already. We've got enrollment.cs, which has written some stuff for us, and we've got student.cs, which has written some stuff for us. You'll see when you look at this, it's got the basic structure set up for our class, all right, for enrollment and for student, okay? So, it says, before proceeding with this tutorial, you should build the project. So let's do that. Then there is a difference between building the project and running the project, So I'm going to do a save first, but I'm going to click on Build Solution. And down here, if I have any errors, they should be shown to me. All right, I'm going to leave that run for just a second, and ideally it's going to say build succeeded. All right, build, 1 succeeded, 0 failed. Well, that's always a great sign. So in the next section, we will generate code based on the data models, but that section will not work if the project has not been built, which is why we just did the build. So in the next section here, in part 3 of our 7-part series, what we're going to do here in part 3 is we're going to come in, and it's called EF Database First with MVC, generating views. Again, this is being done in a very deliberate manner. So this next part of the series will focus on using ASP.NET scaffolding to generate controllers and views. It'll be very similar in many ways to the scaffolding we did in MVC Demo 1. All right, take my word for it. When we come in here, we are going to be coming in and making changes and doing things that we did not do before. So we will be adding to this as we go on. And I'll be back with that third section in just a couple minutes.